All right, how's it going, everyone? Happy Monday. Nick Marro of DFS here with Jayhawk, as always, helping you break down tonight's NBA DFS main slate on both DraftKings and FanDuel. We got a big one tonight, everyone. We are going to be ripping through 10 games here. Already have a lot of news, plenty to talk about. Hope everyone's holidays are going great. But Jayhawk, what's your initial takes on this slate before we dive in here?
Yeah, man, looks like a really fun one. Obviously, we were talking pre-stream, bunch of great centers to target on this slate. So excited to break this one down.
Yep, absolutely. Shouting out the chat real quick, guys. Again, we can go quick today, but shouts out Ben, Cards, Heath, Luke, Jeremy Sweet. Appreciate y'all being here early. But let's hit the ground running right now. We got to get into the game-by-game breakdown here. Again, 10 games on both sites. Looks like both sites are leaving off that 10:30 game between Dallas and Portland. But we got plenty to choose from anyway. 7 o'clock window here. First game on the slate. We have the Milwaukee Bucks favored on the road taking on the Charlotte Hornets. 228.5 point total. Relatively tight spread. Biggest piece of news is that Giannis is back. He's been back for a game. Still no Taurean Prince. Sounds like Gary Trent, who was questionable, should be able to go here. So first talking point is obviously going to be Giannis. There's a handful of good payups on this slate. We have him for 28 minutes. It is a good matchup, but can't really call him a priority here. I mean, we've been dealing with Wemby in a similar situation the past few games. Obviously, this guy can put up huge numbers even in limited minutes, but on a big slate, I don't know that it's totally necessary. After Giannis, everyone feels a little bit overpriced because he missed so much time, right? So we've seen good games out of Porter. Few out of Rollins. Portis obviously has come back to life lately, but all of these guys are going to kind of go on the back burner with Giannis back in the lineup, and the prices haven't really come down on them yet. So while I do like the matchup here, if Giannis is on a minutes limit, I don't know that there are any bucks I can really get to with any sort of aggression. Jayhawk, how do you feel about this team here tonight?
Yeah, man, right here with you. Obviously, with Giannis back, these guys are all pretty much correctly priced, like you mentioned. So it's probably just Giannis or bust for me. Pretty good price, but I think we have a bunch of really good spins on this slate. So outside of Giannis, maybe you could take a stab at like a Miles Turner, but it's mainly a stay away for me.
Yeah, there's so many good centers tonight. I don't know that I'm playing the Turner game, and I'm someone who's been bullish on Turner. He's been pretty terrible, but maybe not tonight for me. But over on the Hornets side of things, Sion James is going to be questionable. Ryan Kalkbrenner's out. Mason Plumlee's out. My boy Concanoople is going to be out for a while, unfortunately. No KJ Simpson or Grant Williams. LaMelo's been tricky. I mean, obviously he can put up numbers. This is a pretty good matchup for guards. It's just the minutes have been all over the place for him. He went over 30 minutes in the Garden against the Knicks a couple of weeks ago, put up 60 fantasy points. Since then, has not played 30 minutes in a game over the course of the past 2 weeks. So I don't know what to expect here from LaMelo. Again, he's priced about where he should be, in my opinion. If I knew he'd play more minutes, I'd have some interest. But right now, it's just tough. The one guy I'm really interested in here is Moussa Diabate. Again, we have a lot of good centers on this slate, but with both Plumlee and Kalkbrenner out, Diabate is going to have to be on the floor. He's shown he can put up numbers, 3 straight games over 30 fantasy points. The price has come up a little bit, not as much as it needs to, in my opinion. So he's someone I'm getting to. You can make a case for guys like Miller, Sexton, Bridges, I guess. It's probably not going to be something I'll be doing, honestly. But Diabate, to me, the one Hornet I really have interest in. Jayhawk, how about you here?
Yeah, man. Charlotte, pretty interesting team to target here tonight. Obviously, LaMelo is 8K on DraftKings. I think the price point is pretty appealing here. But like you mentioned, the minutes haven't been super secure. So I like taking stabs at LaMelo. And then nothing wrong with Miller as well. No Canoople. So Miller and LaMelo were the targets here for me. And then I think Diabate is fine in tournaments. I think we have a bunch of like kind of better point per dollar plays, but no issues if you want to go there as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's still better than a 16 value score on both sides in the model, which we obviously like to see. Shouts out to Reen here saying Brandon Miller's a good play. Yeah, Miller's been playing well. Bridges has actually been the most productive. He's 1% owned. Again, you can mix these guys in. I don't know that they're going to be priorities. Shouts out Jose, who's been out with his own illness, a little bit of load management over the break, man. Glad to have you back here. Here you're feeling better. Van Negro Jones as well. To Guye or not to Guye, we'll get there in a little bit. Definitely a big talking point tonight, though. And yeah, again, Miller and Bridges could see a little bit more usage with no Concanoople. He's been taking a lot of shots for this team, but we got to keep in mind, guys like Trey Mann and Sexton have been out as well, so they're going to take up some of that Canoople goodness as far as fantasy goes. We'll talk about the Mark Williams situation when we get to that game in Phoenix. Luke here, though, saying who benefits the most with Knubel out? Again, it would be LaMelo, but the minutes are limited. So I think it's Bridges and Miller right behind him, but I don't know that it's like this huge jump, honestly. Again, these guys kind of rotate who's doing the most night to night. And again, they're adding Man and Sexton back to the rotation. They were out for a while, so it's just tricky. But again, I think you can make a case for any of those guards. To me, Diabate is just the easiest because the depth chart really doesn't have anyone behind him. But again, a lot of games to go through here. Let's just keep plugging away. We did just get the question about who will be starting for Mark Williams tonight for Phoenix. That is because Mark Williams is going to be out. He is suspended for fighting Jose Alvarado. Like, pick on someone your own size, dude. Grayson Allen's going to be out here. No Ryan Dunn. Jordan Goodwin is available. Shouts out to Douche in Discord, highlighting that this is a potential revenge spot for one Jordan Goodwin. But to answer that question first, who's going to be starting for Mark Williams? Looks like it will be Oso Ighodaro. They do have other centers on this roster, guys like Nick Richards, Rasheer Fleming, the rookie Maluak, who's been pretty disappointing, is going to be available here as well. But I think it's going to be Oso more likely than not. He's a guy we already see in the rotation night to night. He played 28 minutes last time out against the Pels. 10% usage, still had 28 fantasy points. So to me, he looks really good here as long as he's going to start. And again, the issue with him sometimes is foul trouble. I don't necessarily see that being a big issue here against Sarr, who's limited. We'll talk about in a minute. Then guys like Bagley and Vukcevic. So it's not the toughest matchup for him. But again, with Allen out, we're going to continue to see Colin Gillespie getting the start at point guard. Don't mind going to him a little bit. Dylan Brooks, obviously a guy who likes to shoot the basketball. That could go well for us in DFS from time to time. Don't mind mixing him in. But again, Ighodaro, I think rightfully one of the best value plays in the model on both sites here tonight. Easier to get to on DK where you can play two centers, but on FanDuel, forward eligibility. So he's even more popular over there, albeit for $300 more. But really, man, I like Ighodaro. Want to see him starting, though. Coming off the bench, I would proceed with some caution. But other than that, you could mix in Gillespie, Brooks. Booker is just kind of taking a step back for me. I do think a matchup like this, he does have a ceiling, but we're going to talk through some really good guard plays tonight, so I don't know that I'm getting there. But how do you feel about Phoenix as a whole? Good matchup here against the Wizards, favored 233.5 point total.
Yeah, man, I think Phoenix looks awesome here as a team. But in particular, you mentioned it, Oso Ighodaro. Very good play both sides, very good price. He's not the best producer in terms of DFS production, but he should be able to get there at his price. I love Oso. He's my favorite point per dollar play at center tonight, both sides. And then I'm actually a little bit different than you, Nick. I love Devin Booker tonight. I know he hasn't been the best for DFS purposes, but if there's ever a get-right spot, I think Washington is the spot here. So I love Booker up top. This seems like a too cheap of a price point. And then Colin Gillespie, he's been great as well. I think he's firmly in play. I did want to hear your take here on these other guys, though, because Royce O'Neal's pretty chalky. Jordan Goodwin has some ownership. Dylan Brooks is somewhat owned. Did you have a favorite among the rest down here?
I mean, Brooks is usually our guy just because we know the usage is going to be there. What I'll say about O'Neal, he's going to see a boost here as the starter, but his usage is very low. He very much relies on his threes falling, and I don't know. If he's going to be chalky, that's not a bet I really feel like I need to be making. So I would definitely get to Brooks and Gillespie ahead of Royce O'Neal, especially at their ownerships right now. And then Jordan Goodwin off the bench. Again, the douche highlighted that this is maybe a revenge spot for him, but regardless, he's been playing plenty of minutes. He's fine as like a last piece in. He's going to come in off the bench, but yeah, I don't know. I think we have other value, other places. I'm very comfortable getting to the starters here. But I want to come in under on O'Neal. No, he's that 3-and-D guy, very reliant on his three falling.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree.
Nice. All right. Over on the Washington side of things, Keyshawn George and Corey Kispert are both out, as is Chris Middleton and Cam Whitmore. We did just get word from their coach that both Trey Johnson and Sarr would continue to see their minutes monitored. There's no firm limit, but if we're going off what they did last game, Johnson finished at 25 minutes, was still pretty productive. Sarr, excellent in his minutes, only played 26, had almost 50 fantasy points against Memphis. We have both around 26 here tonight, and they're looking pretty decent in the model. So again, they're on some sort of limit. It's not a firm number. They're being monitored, but just keep that in mind. You're probably not going to get 30 plus for either of these guys. McCollum historically has been I don't even want to say historically, but over the past few weeks, he's taken more shots. I mean, his usage is now pushing 25%, which we like to see. You could get to him. I mean, Champagne's probably going to get the start here. I don't know. He was super chalky yesterday. It seems like he's going to be pretty popular on FanDuel today. The ownership came down over on DK. Don't mind him as like a last piece in. But yeah, I can't say I feel great about it. Koulibaly, another one who definitely has upside. Tough to really project his minutes. They're kind of inconsistent as this entire team's rotation is. But he's someone I'm very comfortable getting to. I like the Wizards here. I just think it's tough to really choose one over the other. I will say Trey Johnson, even limited minutes, looks great in the model, better than an 18 value score on both sites. He's the guy I probably get the most of. Mixing some Champagne. As a pivot off of Johnson, Bub Carrington, coming off the bench, could outplay him and end up closing, which would be obviously great in terms of leverage there. So don't mind shouting him out as well. But yeah, man, it's tough. I like the Wizards. I just don't know that there's one guy that really stands out in a big way. How do you feel about them here at home against Phoenix?
Yeah, so last slate I was pretty under on Champagne here because Chris Middleton was confirmed in and starting. But I think kind of hoping the field doesn't like him as much today because I think he should start and he should see a little bit safer minute wise. So I love Champagne in tournaments. We're going to touch on the Atlanta value, but I think he's like right up there with the top value plays. So love Champagne. I think Trey Johnson, like you mentioned, even with the minutes cap, I think he looks great at his price. So those are my favorite two. You can get to CJ, I think. He just hasn't been fantastic in my opinion. So I prefer the value guys here, but no issues with CJ in tournaments.
Yeah, and I'm with you on Champagne, man. I do think he looks like a fine play, especially on DK where the ownership came down. I'm just a little bit surprised more people aren't getting to Koulibaly. He's only a little bit more expensive. He tends to play more minutes, has the better point per minute rate in terms of fantasy production too. So I like the Wizards. I just think it's kind of tough to mix and match, but regardless, it's pretty good kind of lower mid-range value to mix into your lineups here tonight. Good game environment as well. Jose definitely highlighting the Mark Williams Alvarado fight. Pretty funny. If you haven't seen that, definitely look it up on Twitter. Hardaway, Merrill, or Dort? I'll answer this right now and say Hardaway, but we'll go to the game by game and talk through these plays as we go. Another game here. Speaking of Hardaway, we got Denver taking on Miami, 244.5 point total in this one. Pretty tight spread. Denver is favored on the road. Still no Christian Brown or Aaron Gordon or Cam Johnson. Obviously, three starters, key rotational pieces for the Nuggets, going to create some opportunity. More than anything, it's going to boost the upside of guys like Murray and Jokic. We've kind of seen them putting up big numbers lately, even in the same game. If you want to get both in a lineup, even in a matchup like this, I don't think it's crazy. Two of the better plays on tonight's slate at their respective positions. I think Murray's easier to get to because there is so much good value at center, but obviously Jokic is Jokic. Hardaway Jr. is an interesting talking point. I mean, he's scoring dependent, but he's shooting a lot. They're using him as a spacer. He's playing 30 minutes a night. Again, he just checks enough boxes for me to feel pretty comfortable getting to him. I think he's even safer than some of the Wizards we were just talking about at a very similar price point. The other good thing with Hardaway, he has guard and forward eligibility on both sides, just makes him really easy to build with. But yeah, those are the three I'm most interested in. You can mix in some Peyton Watson. He's come back down to earth, but so has his price. I think on FanDuel he's appealing. Could be a little overowned. There's a world where Bruce Brown falls into a few extra minutes here. I think he has some upside, but again, Jokic, Murray look excellent. Hardaway, my favorite value piece here. Jayhawk, how do you feel about Denver in Miami?
Yeah, man, you nailed it. Denver, I think, looks fantastic here. Jamal and Jokic, no issues with either one. I think they both look awesome. I have a bunch of both, so love both those two. And then Tim Hardaway, man, he's been great for Denver here without some of their key pieces. So I think Hardaway is fine in tournaments. Peyton Watson, I think, is just okay. I don't love the FanDuel ownership, but I think he's fine on both sides. But it's mainly just Jokic and Murray here, man. I love both of them.
Yep. We're pretty much aligned on that one. Over on the Miami side of things, Bam is probable. He missed the game. Hero's going to be out, and Spoelstra likes to list the whole team, so here we go. We got KJ available. Jovic and Pelly Larson are both available. Rozier is out. Khalil Ware is available. So the only guy out really is Tyler Hero. So Again, they like to list the entire team for whatever reason, pretty much just to piss off people like me. But we could dive in here. With Hero out, obviously going to create some extra usage for the rest of the starters. Also going to slide Khalil Ware into the starting lineup where he's been really productive lately. Again, this slate for centers is loaded. His price has come up now. I don't know that I'm rushing to him like we have been on past slates, but no one's playing him. If he's going to start here, and I assume he will, he's not a bad player to be mixing in. I think Powell's the easiest to get to just because he's taking so many shots. You can mix in Wiggins or Mitchell, but their usage just isn't on that same level as a Powell. And then Jaime Jaquez off the bench. I know you're a fan, continues to put up really solid numbers with that second unit. So if I'm ranking Heat players tonight, it's probably Powell first, then Jaquez, then Bam. I don't mind Ware, Wiggins, but I don't know. It's kind of tough to get to them at their prices. How do you feel about Miami here at home against Denver?
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you here. Like all these guys, I think are fine to take stabs at, but I like the Powell shot. Like this game environment should favor him. I think Hawk is off the bench as well, like you mentioned. So those are kind of the main guys. You can get to Bam, but yeah, you called it. There's so many great centers. Very tough to prioritize him.
Yep, right there with you, man. But keep it on that starting lineup again. I think it's going to be where wouldn't shock me to see Bam slide to the 5 and Pele Larson get the start, in which case Pele would be pretty appealing as a value play. So just keep an eye on that one. Another game we have here at the 7:30 Eastern window, the Golden State Warriors taking on my Brooklyn Nets, who are going for their 4th straight win, I think. They've won 7 games this month. We're supposed to be tanking. I don't really know what's going on, but starting on the Golden State side of things, Jimmy Butler's probable. Seth Curry's out. Al Horford's out. Nothing else really significant worth even mentioning. Golden State's been kind of hit or miss lately. Obviously, Curry has upside, but he hasn't been hitting that ceiling all too frequently. I will say a matchup like this kind of plays to his favor, but the Nets defense has shored up over the past few games. Butler's fine. Draymond's okay. Again, I think these guys are all just kind of priced where they should be. I don't know that any are going to be priorities for me here tonight. Bias aside, are you interested in any Warriors tonight in Brooklyn?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting spot here for Golden State. I think Steph Curry and Jimmy are if you want to get there like at super low ownership, I think it's fine. But I don't necessarily love this game environment. I'd actually almost prefer this other side of the ball. So for me, it's mainly a stay away. I hate to say it from most of Golden State here.
Yeah. Again, just a healthy team, priced where they should be. On a big slate, usually that kind of takes them out of consideration for the most part. Mix them into your tournament builds. Over on the net side of things, Haywood Highsmith still hasn't played a game. Ben Seraph is out. Zaire Williams, who missed a little time, is going to be probable. We did get Cam Thomas back last game, and this is definitely worth talking about. Working his way back from an injury, seems to be on a minutes limit, but he's running that second unit at a 41% usage against Minnesota, scored 30 real points in 19 minutes. So am I playing Cam Thomas? Probably not. But at his price, at no ownership, he could maybe get there. We have him for 24 minutes. I don't think it's crazy, but it would take me a bunch of lineups to really want to get any of him. Porter Jr., I mean, you would think Cam returning kind of cuts into his upside, but with Cam coming off the bench playing limited minutes, I think Michael Porter still looks pretty good here. Again, slate is loaded at center. Claxton is someone who does feel too cheap, though, so I like MPJ. I like Claxton. Can't call either a core play, but they're fine. And then Cam Thomas, definitely a player to keep an eye on. If those minutes do tick up at some point, his ceiling is obviously tremendous. But for now, just MPJ and Claxton for me. Jayhawk, how about you when it comes to the Nets?
Yep, keeping it short and sweet here. It's MPJ and Claxton for me too. More of the emphasis on Claxton with that price point, but yeah, just this game is just not a game I love targeting. And sorry, it's the Brooklyn Nets I don't love targeting.
Yeah, all good, fine. Man. We got another one here at 7:30 between the Orlando Magic and the Toronto Raptors. One of the lower totals on the board today, 220.5 points. Magic are favored, slight favorites on the road, Jalen Suggs almost back from injury. He is still doubtful, though. Franz Wagner is still out. Goga is questionable. He missed a little bit of time. I don't know that matters too much here. Again, not the best matchup. Kind of a slow pace spot here for Orlando. At the same time, no one's really playing these guys. You can mix in Banchero, Bane, Black. Those are the three I have some interest in. If it was a smaller slate, I'd recommend Wendell Carter, but I don't know. I think there are other centers at his price I feel a little bit better about. especially if we get the word that Goga's going to be back. Tyus Jones had a few good games. He's going to still start at point guard here. Came back down to earth against Denver. It's like a last piece in. I don't think it's crazy, but I wish he was mid-priced, not 4K. I think he's overpriced for his kind of median in what his production is going to be. So, again, I think you can make a case for Bane, Black, Banchero, Carter, but it's not a case I'm really making here. Pretty low total, Jayhawk. How do you feel about Orlando?
Yeah, man, Orlando is just another very difficult team to target. I think the big three, Bane, Paulo, I guess Anthony Black, I think they're all fine at their ownerships, but I didn't really get to anything here much at all.
Yep, right there with you. Over on the Toronto side of things, RJ Barrett's going to be out. AJ Lawson up from the G League. Murray Boyles, the rookie's questionable. Jakob Poeltl's still out. They did go ahead and sign Mo Bamba, so I don't know if he's available. I don't think we want to be playing him, but he could cut into the front court rotation. With Poeltl out, Sandro's been really solid. He's probably going to be getting the start at the 5 here again tonight. It's just the price increase for him in a bad matchup kind of takes him out of consideration. You could mix him in as a tournament play. Can't call him a priority like he was on the previous few slates, though. But Barnes, quickly, Ingram, all look fine. Again, just low total, price where they should be. Decent plays. None of them really standing out, though. Jayhawk, how do you feel about Toronto?
Yeah, there's only one guy here that I was getting overweight to, and it's Scotty Barnes. I just like the price point. The matchup isn't great, like you mentioned, but in like a lot of mid-tier builds, I think he fits pretty well. So I like Scotty. That's about it here from Toronto.
Yeah, Barnes coming off the best game of his career, maybe. Triple-double, 25 boards, 23 points, 10 assists. Absolutely ridiculous performance, but Field's not getting there. They're not chasing it. The price hasn't come up, so I'm totally fine with it. If you want to use him as a tournament play, definitely has ridiculous upside for his price. Just not maybe the best matchup. We did get a question about Asa Ul, but we'll talk about in just a minute as we move into the 8 o'clock window here. We have the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Widest spread on the slate, 233.5 point total. The Hawks are heavy underdogs here on the road. They're going to be without Jalen Johnson, who obviously we've been playing a ton of lately. Kristaps Porzingis is out. Trae Young is out as well, even though he's back. I think they're just kind of resting him. So Atlanta kind of giving this game away. I think they know what they're up against here. Thunder have been blowing most teams out. But Alexander Walker, increased usage for him at his price looks kind of interesting. Ricochet, who's on the trade block, maybe they're trying to give him a few looks up his value. He's been pretty terrible, if we're being completely honest. And then we're getting questions about Gouye. He should start here, but man, I don't know if I could trust this guy, especially against a really good defensive front court in OKC. If he's going to be chalk, I'm kind of looking to get away from it. At the same time, he's only 3K. We have him for 23 minutes. If you're landing on him, fine. We got the question about Newell. I actually think Newell's a pretty interesting pivot. He has the same positional eligibility. I think if this game blows out, he's more likely to play into the fourth quarter than a Mohamed Gouye would be because he is kind of the young player they're trying to get a look at. At the same time, not really a high usage guy. Most of those minutes have come with guys like Johnson and or Trae Young available, though. So I do think Newell in tournaments is kind of sneaky. Don't mind mixing him in. I don't feel great about Gouye, but on paper he looks fine. And then Vit Krejci off the bench. I don't know that he's going to play in a blowout. That's the one thing giving me some pause. But at his price, he's going to have a lot of usage off the bench. I don't mind mixing him in. It's like the rotation's so thin tonight, man. Like, all their best players are out. You would think this would be a spot we want to get to. It's just the matchup so bad against OKC. It's kind of tough to pick and choose. How do you feel about Atlanta on the road here in Oklahoma City?
Yeah, man, this is kind of the make or break spot, I think, on the entire slate because it's a very tough spot. Super spread in favor of OKC here, big time. So I think for me, it's mainly targeting the guys that I think can play through blowout. So like you mentioned, I think Newell can play through blowout. Mo Gay should be able to play some blowout. I'm just not really high on a Naw and a Conway here, so I'm going to be playing a lot of the cheaper guys, mixing them around. There's no one that I love, even Ricochet. I don't know how many minutes he's going to play through blowout, so it's just the dirt cheat scrubs here for me down the.
Yeah, and again, I wouldn't even be that interested in guys like Ricochet. It's just he's so damn cheap now, 3,800. Very tempting. Should have a high usage rate here. Same with Alexander Walker. I don't know, man. I don't feel great about this spot, honestly. I think you can make a case for pretty much everyone here. At the same time, you could poke holes in that case very easily, just knowing the matchup that they're up against. Speaking of that matchup, Oklahoma City Thunder here. AJ Mitchell's questionable. Hartenstein's going to be out. Jalen Williams with an eye, one of his backups, is going to be out here as well. So looking at OKC, I mean, SGA could do it in 3 quarters. Obviously has massive upside here. Don't mind mixing him into my exposures. Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, priced about where they should be. They obviously have a very high ceiling in a soft matchup. With the widespread, you got to be a little bit concerned about the blowout. But then it gets interesting, man. I mean, I've been someone who's tried to make Brandon Carlson a thing at times. I think in a blowout, he would play the whole fourth corner as a center. Tonight, I think the slate's so big. We have value from other games that should be competitive. I don't know that I need to get that cute, quote unquote. I don't know. Isaiah Joe plays in blowouts. Like, you can maybe make a case for Wiggins or Mitchell. Case and Wallace, one of those hybrids that kind of plays regardless of how close the game is. But man, I think on paper this is a good spot for OKC. It's just, are they going to blow them out across 3 quarters? Is it going to be one guy who gets there, or will all three push their value? I don't know. How do you feel about the Thunder here at home?
Yeah, first, really like that shout because both of their starting 2 centers on the depth chart are out tonight. Carlson should be able to play heavy minutes in a blowout. So I love that shout. No one is going to get there. I think that's our 1% play of the day here, Nick. And then in terms of the starters here, SGA, J-Dub, and Holmgren here, I think they're all fine to mix in, but none of these guys really stand out to me.
Yep. Shouts out Unicorn, who's in here saying Wallace from Atlanta. It's talking about Keaton Wallace. The issue is he's kind of buried on the depth chart. He's behind Daniels, Alexander Walker, Krejci, Newell, Kennard. I mean, he would be someone to play in a blowout, but again, I don't know that we want to be trying to create these blowout builds on a 10-game slate. Like, if this was a 2-gamer, like we were earlier in the NBA Cup, that would be something we'd spend some time on. I don't think you need to be playing any Keaton Wallace tonight unless he starts, though. Which Hawks are priorities? I don't know if any are, man. The field's getting there pretty aggressively. I think at their prices, Alexander Walker, Ricochet, Gouye, Krejci all look good, but they all feel a little bit overowned. Jayhawk, are there any priorities for you from this game at all?
I think Mo Gay would be my favorite among the bunch just because he is 3K. But I would say, yeah, I think probably Krejci and Mo Gay would be my favorite plays there.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. Nice comment here from Kenny, Brave Boy. Thanks for the advice in the late slate last night. Was in first until the fourth quarter of the late game. Didn't finish in first, still cashed. Love to hear that, Kenny. That's awesome. I imagine that late game was the Kawhi game, right, where he was going nuts. Luka was late too, but yeah, man, I'd love to hear it. Just keep coming back. We're here every single day, Monday through Sunday, so no breaks. Definitely check out the links below to get access to the model you see here. Get behind the paywall. You can ask us questions directly, all that good stuff. But always appreciate it. Always love hearing the good stories. So keep them coming, guys. Another game here we have at 8 o'clock between the Cavs and the Spurs. 243.5-point total feels a little bit high. These teams have been playing pretty quickly, though. Spurs favorite at home kind of gives you, I don't know, an overall look at what they've been doing this year. Really impressive team. Starting with Cleveland, though. No Max Strus. Larry Nance is not available. Not that he's ever even part of the rotation. Mobley's been back, though. He's here. We have him for 26 minutes. Again, just a healthy team, priced where they should be. Makes it difficult to prioritize anything on a 10-game slate. Mitchell, Garland, Mobley all have upside. Allen, I don't know. There's other centers I prefer. Really nothing for me, Jayhawk, from Cleveland. I think if I would get to anything, it'd be one of Garland or Mitchell. Again, Mobley still kind of on a minutes cap. So, yeah, I don't love Cleveland, but neither does the field. Is there anyone you're trying to take a stand on here?
Yep, 100% with you. It's Garland and Mitchell for me. Both, I think, are properly owned, but it is a pretty good game total here. So if you want to mix them in, no issues there. But yeah, it's mainly those two.
Yeah, we have gotten questions about Merrill. Mobley has been playing off the bench as he kind of works his way back into form. Keep an eye on the starting lineup. If Merrill starts again, he could play 26, maybe get you 25 fantasy points. He's useful as a building block. But again, I think as Mobley gets more minutes, it's going to directly eat into Merrill, and Merrill is not going to be starting for long. So just keep that in mind. I do think they get Wade in there with Mobley before Merrill would continue to start. It's also surprising to me Hunter or Tyson aren't starting over Merrill. But again, just keep an eye on Cleveland. They've been struggling a little bit, trying to mix and match some things till they can figure it out. Over on the Spurs side of things, De'Aaron Fox is questionable. That's obviously significant. If he's out, we're going to see boosts for guys like Stephon Castle, who's been playing really well. Dylan Harper, even off the bench, would see a nice boost. We saw it go well for him the other night. Wemby, similar situation to Giannis, obviously tremendous upside, but he's expensive, still on a minutes cap. He got up to 27 against Utah. I think we could maybe see him get to 30 here, but that's not a guarantee. Also, not the best matchup for him on paper. So at his price, don't know that I'm getting to him at all. I will say if Fox is out, Castle looks fine. Don't mind mixing in some Harper, but if Fox is in, not much love for me for the Spurs tonight. How about you, Jayhawk?
Yep, I think it's pretty much fully dependent on Fox for me, like you mentioned. If Fox does rest, I think Stephon Castle looks great again in tournaments. The field should be a little bit hesitant after he kind of had a subpar game last game. So really like this spot for Castle if Fox sits.
Yep, right there with you, man. All right, taking a look ahead here, we got another game at 8 o'clock. This one between the Pacers and the Houston Rockets. Getting some questions on the Rockets. We'll get to those in just a minute. Starting with Indiana, though. No Tyrese Halliburton, obviously. Still no Isaiah Jackson. TJ McConnell missed the game. He is back. No Ben Shepherd, no Obi Toppin. Jay Huff is available. I guess he's dealing with an illness. Another team, again, they're not fully healthy, but Halliburton's been out the whole year, so they're mostly priced where they should be. This is a tough matchup when it comes to defense. Houston, pretty big favorite here, even missing some pieces on that end. You can make a case for maybe Nembhard, Siakam, Mathurin. I honestly think TJ McConnell is kind of interesting. He's a guy who's in the rotation when games are close, but when the games blow out, they do usually let him play pretty deep into the fourth quarter. So if you want to mix him in tonight, first game back after missing one, fine. But again, they got a pretty deep bench right now. Guys like Jackson have eaten to his minutes at times. Thompson, I don't know, even Furphy, who I'm not really all that high on. But yeah, man, tough spot to get to any Pacers tonight. Is there anyone standing out to you for Indiana?
Yeah, Nick, quick stat here. Indiana's team total tonight, 104 team total. That is 6 points lower than the next highest team total. So it's the Vegas line says enough. I'm pretty much staying away here from Indiana.
Yeah, don't need to waste much time on them. Again, Pacers is not really in a great spot here, unless maybe you're chasing some sort of blowout narrative. But again, 10-game slate, you're throwing a very narrow needle. Over on the Houston side of things, Alperen Sengun is out. Still no Fred VanVleet, obviously. With Sengun out, we can expect Steven Adams to get the start at the 5 here. And this is worth talking about a little bit. He's still pretty cheap. Model likes him. He's scoring pretty well in value, but we have better center value on this slate, so don't know that I could really call him a priority. Tari Eason off the bench, probably my favorite play here. He's probably going to play his 26 to 28 minutes regardless of how this game plays out, and I'm actually looking at one site right now projecting him to start. So either way, I think Tari Eason looks good. Reed Shepherd, I don't know that he's going to continue to get run and blowouts. He has at times this year, though. Obviously, he has a high ceiling. Not something I'm really chasing on a limited slate. But if this game were to somehow stay close, Durant and Thompson would see big boosts in their usage, obviously with no Sengun on the floor. So Houston looks pretty good here. At the same time, a little bit concerned about the blowout. No one's far too cheap anymore. So I don't know. I guess my favorite play here is probably Eason, just knowing he could beast in limited minutes. So it shouldn't really matter how this game goes for him. But that's probably it in terms of like core plays for me. Jayhawk, how do you feel about the Rockets?
Yeah, man, it's mainly Eason for me. I will say I was kind of shocked to see Steven Adams come in at his ownership here, even with Sengun out. So if you don't like Iguodala, I think Adams is fine as a tournament pivot. But I'm with you. It's mainly Tari Eason for me here. I think he's fine both sides.
Yep, definitely with you on that one. And we got one more. No, we got 2 more games here, at least. Next game, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Chicago Bulls. This is also in that 8 o'clock window. Where is this one? Here we go. 243.5 point total. Timberwolves are favored on the road here. No real injuries for them. Terrence Shannon's out. He's kind of in and out of the rotation, though. Projected starting lineup, DiVincenzo, Edwards, McDaniels, Randall, Gobert. No real surprises there. Good matchup for this team. I think Gobert at relatively low ownership looks fine. He's been really productive lately. No one seems to want to be playing him here. Again, center's loaded. I get it. Don't mind mixing him in. Anthony Edwards, I think at his price is really appealing. We talked about a bunch of different guards, but to me, Edwards kind of stands out. I just think the ceiling is there. He said all year against bad teams, he's going to take as many shots as he can, and that's kind of been a trend for him. They were upset last game out against Brooklyn. I think they have a bit of a chip on their shoulder here coming into this one. So I do think Edwards is kind of one of my favorite tournament plays as far as pay up goes. Randall, I'm fine with. I would much rather get to Edwards. And again, Gobert, I'd rather get to than Randall. So Randall's kind of falling out of my exposures, but on FanDuel, he does feel a little bit cheap. You can make a case for McDaniels, DiVincenzo. Naz Reid off the bench obviously has some upside, but his price has come up to a point now where there's not a ton of meat on that bone. But again, Ant Edwards to me, under-owned on both sites here, even on FanDuel where he's pushing 10K. I just love the upside and, love the matchup as well. How are you feeling about Minnesota on the road?
Yep, I think Minnesota's in a great bounce back spot here, and I'm with you. I love Anthony Edwards. Bunch of really good spend up guards tonight. Obviously, Booker, Brunson, Ants. I think all those guys are great. I just think it's a really good spot for Ant in tournaments. So love that shout. And then I'm always on Team Gobert. I know the spot isn't necessarily fantastic, but I still like him at his ownership. So I'll sprinkle in some Gobert. And then I'm with you on Randall. I think he's a little bit overowned. I would rather get to some other power forwards. So it's mainly Ant and Gobert for me.
Yeah, Randall always has ridiculous upside, but I don't know. I never seem to get him right, so I'd rather just never play him and hopefully he doesn't kill us here. But over on the Chicago side of things, no Zach Collins. Josh Giddey is available. I don't know why he was on the injury report, but good to see he is fine and good to go. Other than that, this team's mostly healthy. Vooch's minutes have been all over the place. I don't really want to play him. I'd rather just play Gobert from this game or Claxton or one of the value centers. So no Vooch for me here tonight. But Giddey looks fine. Again, I'd rather play Ant in the same game, but he's lower owned, a little bit cheaper. Feel free to mix him in. Obviously, he has triple-double upside. Kobe White's been playing really well, scoring dependent, but the ceiling's there. But other than that, it's tricky, man. This team's healthy. I thought it was kind of funny to see Jalen Smith drawing decent ownership. I mean, he's played 22 minutes in back-to-back games. I'm talking about how I don't like the minutes for Vooch. Those minutes have been going to Jalen Smith. So if you want to mix him in as a punt, fine. I don't know that I'm playing enough lineups to get there necessarily. But again, decent spot, decent total. Don't mind Giddey. Don't mind Kobe. That's probably it for me. How do you feel about the Bulls?
Yeah, I'm with you. I was going to ask you about Smith because he was kind of popping on the model and had good ownership. I think he's fine. 3,800, you just mentioned him, but it's not a spot I love. So I think outside of Jalen Smith, there's not much I love here. I know this total is really high, but it's a tough spot here for Chicago.
Yeah, and I'm with you. And again, on the Jalen Smith thing, he does have forward eligibility on DK where he's only 3,800, so I like him there. On FanDuel, where you're only playing one center, we have other good value centers. I would not be playing him there. We did get a question here. Do we like Diabate from Thuggin? I think I like him a little bit more than you, but I do really like him here just because he's missing both of his backups. Kalkbrenner and Plumlee are out. The prices come up on him. I think there's other guys who are a little bit better point per dollar, but he's going to be in a lot of my bills tonight. Any other thoughts on Diabate, Jayhawk, before we move on?
Yeah, the only thing I was kind of hesitant is I agree they don't have very many bodies. I just don't love the matchup against Turner, but he's going to have to be out there for sure.
Yep. Quick question here from Jose. Tari Eason or Royce O'Neal? It's Eason for me. I think the minutes are safer for O'Neal, but again, he's so reliant on his threes. Eason does everything. I just prefer a player like that, generally speaking. Jayhawk, any takes on that one?
Yeah, probably Eason. I think his upside's a little bit higher tonight, even in the minutes.
And again, with Sengun out, I mean, Smith could play some small ball five. There's a few ways he runs into more minutes here, even if that game gets out of hand. So, again, checking a lot of boxes for us. Another game here we got between the Knicks and the Pelicans. Starting on the Knicks side of things, Josh Hart's going to be out tonight. Tyler Kolek, questionable. Miles McBride is back. He's probable. No Mitchell Robinson or Landry Shamet. So, I said Ant was one of my favorite payups tonight. I think my favorite payup in the field is getting there, so it's not a hot take, is going to be Karl Anthony Towns. Historically, I keep using that word wrong, but this season with Mitchell Robinson out, his biggest games have come. Like the rebounding goes way up for him, less minutes on the floor with Robinson, obviously boost the rebounding. Usage going to come up a little bit here as well. And then Josh Hart out, another thing that could help boost the rebounding for someone like Karl Anthony Towns. He's gone for near 60 fantasy points in 2 of his last 3. Minutes should be there for him. I love the matchup as well, even though New Orleans has been playing better. We're looking at a near 250-point total. My My favorite play to pay up for tonight is going to be Karl Anthony Towns. I do like Brunson, Bridges, OG a little bit here as well. Again, with no heart, they see a little bit of a bump. At the same time, I'm so aggressively leaning into Towns that I'm coming in a bit under on them. I think you could play two in a lineup, though, and feel fine about it. I like the Knicks here, man. I do think Kolek's kind of a trap now that McBride's back, so just kind of keep that in mind. He should have played his way into the rotation in more minutes, but I don't know that he did. So just wait and see on that one. But, man, Cat for me, one of my first plays in on both sites. Hate that he's center only on DK, though. It's definitely frustrating, but still someone I want in most of my builds. How do you feel about New York?
Yeah, great shout with Cat there. Obviously, no Mitchell, a bunch of more rebounding opportunities. New York here, Nick. Do you want to guess their team total? The highest team total on the slate, 127. So really, really good spot here. I think Cat looks fantastic. I also think Brunson is kind of underowned, so I love both of them. No issues with either one. And then Bridges and OG, like in this game environment, if you don't have Cat or Brunson, I think they're great at their prices. So I just love getting to this team. Looks like a fantastic team to target.
Yep, right there with you, man. Really like the Knicks here. Great spot for them. Over on the Pelican side of things, Jose Alvarado's out. Herbert Jones is out. DeJounte Murray's still out. Alexander back down with the G League. Nothing else really significant to talk through. Zion's been coming off the bench. I mean, he's been playing really well. We have him for 28 minutes at 7K. I think he's okay in tournaments. Again, until those minutes come up, I don't know that he has that 50-point ceiling that we want from him, but his price is down, so he's playable, even off the bench. Trey Murphy, probably going to lead this team in usage. Don't mind mixing him in where he's priced at 6,800 on DK. See, he feels very similar to a Norm Powell, though, who we talked about a little bit earlier. I actually think Powell is a little bit safer and almost the exact same play. So for me, I'm getting more Powell. Murphy's a good pivot. Queen has been good. At the same time, again, center's loaded tonight. Don't find myself getting there. Sadiq Bey's fallen into kind of like a secondary role here with his team fully healthy. So not much love for him. We did just get a question about Jeremiah Fears. I will say normally I wouldn't have a ton of interest. But with Alvarado out, I think his minutes are a little bit safer. So at 5,100 on DK, I like him. FanDuel a bit more expensive, but you can play him at shooting guard. He's fine. But honestly, if you have that salary, I think Jordan Poole has the higher ceiling. The floor is lower, right? Fears has the higher floor. Poole has the higher ceiling. But at lower ownership, same price, I kind of prefer Poole, as gross as that sounds. But if you want to play it safe, Fears the better play. But both those guards are kind of appealing to me. Jayhawk, New Orleans kind of coming around similar to the Nets. I mean, seemed like they would be two of the worst teams in the league. Now they're on winning streaks or 6 or 7 or whatever it is for New Orleans. How do you feel about the Pelicans here at home?
Yeah, so obviously we like a bunch of New York. I think it makes sense to get some New Orleans here to run it back. I think Trey Murphy looks pretty good. He's my favorite play overall on New York here. Pretty good price. I did want to hear your take on Zion, but in terms of the guards here, I'm with you. I think Poole probably the higher ceiling, but Fear's probably a little bit safer of a floor. So kind of monitor that. But yeah, what's your take here on Zion?
Again, I think he's going to come off the bench. He's power forward only. Now that the price is down, he's playable. I think he's, in a weird way, like even with the limited minutes, more of like a cash play, though. Like I see him getting 40 fantasy points, like
Yeah.
8 times out of 10 here. Like I don't know that we have the 50-point ceiling out of him right now. But at the same time, I think with the second unit, the usage has gone up. So the floor feels higher. So it's almost like he's kind of a small field, low risk play, which is weird to say because of the minutes, but I just don't know that he has the ridiculous ceiling that we want from him for a 7K play. But yeah, it's like I think he's going to hit 40 frequently. If that's what you want at that price, go ahead and play him. I think I'd chase a little bit more upside on a 10 gamer, but he's fine, certainly.
Yeah, I agree. He seems more of a cash game play to me. The ceiling doesn't seem like it's there yet right now.
Yep, Torina, hopefully that answers your questions on Fears and Queen. Nick Richards is the backup center listed for the Suns. Do we think he gets 20 minutes? Personally, I do not. We don't even have him in the model. Fleming and Rivers can play a little bit of 5. We got the douche in our Discord. Same way I'm the Nets guy. He's the Suns guy. Great to have around for slates like this when they're mixing things up. He really likes Iguodaro here, and we both kind of agreed. Rather than going to Richards, who we do have for 17 minutes, I'd be looking at some of the other value centers in the other games. Did you have a take on Nick Richards there? A fellow Nick joining us here for the Suns.
Yeah, I'm pretty much off Nick Richards. I know you guys talk about that. I'm with you. I'm in on Oso and not in on Nick Richards.
Yep. Awesome, man. All right, let's get into these dummy builds. And guys, Smitty going live in the Discord right now. If you want to go ahead and jump in there, feel free. But let's talk through some dummy builds here quickly. So starting on DraftKings, I said it. I'm going to stick to it. I think Cat is my first guy in tonight. Hate using the center spot for him, but I do love him. And he's in the late game, so you can put him at utility. We just talked about Osa. Before I forget, I think he's our second center. I will say Diabate looks really good. I'm fine with Claxton. I mean, we talked about Gobert, but I think these are the two. But go ahead and throw some names at me, Jayhawk. Who else do we want to get in here?
Man, I don't want to say this name, but he's a lot of my builds. So Mo Gay, 3K flat, power forward. He's the guy I'm getting a lot of. It doesn't feel great, but yeah, I'm getting a lot of him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm terrified, honestly. Hopefully he gets run in a blowout. This guy, he produces from time to time. I just don't think he's a great basketball player, but 3K flat, don't really need to be. So, again, if it's going to open up some stuff for us, I think in cash games, you just go to him. So I'm fine with it. Again, just make sure he's starting. Point guard, we got, I mean, I don't know. McCollum looks okay. I don't mind Trey Johnson. Don't love the minutes limit. There was someone else here.
Jamal, I think, is good up top if we're not getting the Joker.
I do like Jamal. We could go with Jamal. We're just gonna have to get a little bit of value mixed in now. All right, that works for me. I do really like Powell as a run back. If you want to do that,
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that.
cool. 6,200 per, not bad. Again, as much as I don't like Guye, I do like that we have this much salary left now. So it is kind of working out. We got guys like Hawkes in this range, McDaniels, Brooks, Champagne.
Yeah, I like Champagne. If you wanted to go another Atlanta, I think Krejci's in play. Probably one of those two, Champagne or
I think Hardaway trounces Bull.
Yeah, I like that.
You with that? Cool. All right, 7K per. I mean, if we do pay down for someone like Champagne at forward, maybe we can get another pay up at guard. And again, this is Washington's Champagne, assuming he starts. Don't love it, but again, some of the cheap plays are more about what you can get to pay up for. And again, we already have Cat, so maybe not Brunson, but you can get Edwards in here. This is a pretty good build.
I was going to tell you Anthony Edwards I love, so I love that.
Yeah, and we're still able to upgrade to Eason. Honestly, I like him more than Champagne. Something like this looks really good. So yeah, go ahead. Someone throw that in a contest and let me know when you print. Over on FanDuel, I mean, similar situation. We only have one center spot. I think that makes it a little bit trickier. Oso does have forward eligibility. I don't know. I kind of want to go Diabate.
Okay.
Yeah, Adams is another one who's cheap. I just don't know that he's going to have to play that many minutes tonight. We do have Oso at forward. I'm going to go ahead and throw him in. Take a quick look at the value scores.
Did they give us Cat at power forward tonight on FanDuel, or is he only center?
Yeah, I think they do. I'm going to go ahead and throw him in. And I think even with the minutes cap, Trey Johnson on FanDuel is just too cheap. I'll go ahead and throw him. 4,100 is just wrong. Still got Hardaway, Eason, Brooks. I'll throw these guys in. Again, we're just looking for the value first, and then we can kind of pick what we like from the best of the best. And all sub 5K, we're left with 92 per. So we got two guards and a forward, and we could pretty much play whatever we want at those positions. Anyone standing out to you?
Let's go. Can we get Devin Booker in this build? I like him all too tonight.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Love the matchup for sure. Still 9,300 for a shooting guard or a small forward. I mean, we can play anything. MPJ at home, give him one more go. We have too much salary, man. I mean, we could still get Ant in here in that same game, and then if we wanted to upgrade, I don't know. If we pulled MPJ, there's not a ton there to pivot to.
I like it.
Scotty, I mean, this looks good.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so pretty easy to build tonight, guys, in general, which maybe means we should be getting more guys like Jokic or SGA. It's just center's loaded, so it's keeping Jokic out of our initial builds. But keep that in mind because the field's probably right there with us. Jameer Watkins seasons from HB Cards. Let me just quickly pop them in. We got them for 14 minutes. If you believe, you believe. Good luck on that one, Cards. I don't think I'll be joining you. Thoughts on Clayton? Is this, do you mean Claxton? Claxton's a good play, Tareen. If you're talking about Walter Clayton, Jazz are not on the slate today. I don't know who else that could be. Or
Yeah,
there's a Clayton on the Wizards too, right?
I think so. Yeah, I was thinking Walter Clayton too, but he's not on the slate.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's Claxton, and I do like Claxton. Again, I don't like playing Claxton without the other scorers available, but now that Cam's back and Porter's back, he can run a lot of pick and roll, hang out under the rim. I think he's a fine play. So I hope that's what you mean, Tareen. Appreciate you. But as always, guys, appreciate you tuning in on a Monday night. I know the guys already have a football video up. Pretty good game later between the Rams and the Falcons. We also have Smitty live in the Discord chat right now, taking you right up until lock. Definitely keep an eye on lineups tonight. I think we have most of the injury news, but there are some fluid situations in terms of who could be starting. Someone like Gouye slides to the bench, maybe proceed with some caution. Oso, another similar guy. Maybe things get shaken up to the point that we don't want to be super heavy on these cheap value plays. So just keep an eye on that. But that's all for me, Jayhawk. Any other thoughts for you before we get out of here for the evening?
Yeah, enjoy the slate. It looks like a fun one, and let's hope this Hawks value is decent or okay.
Yep. Mo's going to be a talking point for us even after the stream. So appreciate you guys. Have fun tonight. Take care. Good luck.
Thank you guys. Good luck.